What if Deku had Goku's Black Powers? Part 2. So in the last episode of or part 2, please go check that out if you haven't already. But part 2 or part 1, I did say it was part 2, but it's actually part 1. So I left off. Deku is just about to start a 10-month training period with All Might, and All Might. So he goes to the beach, and All Might's just like, "That's quite a quirk you have." And like Deku knows he doesn't have a quirk. Like All Might still thinks he has a quirk, but Deku's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, All Might." And then he asks him, "Why did you ask me if you could become a hero without a quirk?" And then Deku says, "Yeah, I'm quirkless." And All Might's like, "But how? You have that amazing power, that amazing reddish pink power." And Deku's like, "Yeah, the doctor told me it wasn't a quirk." And he's like, "Wasn't a quirk? Then what possibly could it be?" And Deku's just like, "I don't know. I mean, it's still strong though." And then he's like, "Do you think I can become a hero with this power?" And All Might's like, "Yes, of course you can." And All Might's like, "Have you made up your mind if you want my quirk yet?" And Deku's just like, "Yeah, I don't want your quirk. I want to become the first quirkless hero." And All Might's like, "Try and get everybody to believe you will be a tough time." And Deku's like, "Yeah, I know, but I'll eventually have that happen." And then, comment down below, who do you think I should give One for All to? Because I don't really know. I could give it to Mirio, Bakugo, Todoroki. I could give it to, like, anybody, basically, besides Izuku or Deku. So, that happens, and All Might just shows Deku the trash and says, "Clean this up and put it over on the other side of the beach." And Deku's like, "Oh, this should be a piece of cake." And All Might says, "Without your quirk." And Deku's like, "Oh, that should be even easier." I'm just laughing because he knows he doesn't have a quirk. And then he doesn't even use his key. He just picks it up and just starts chucking it over to the other side. Like these huge things like refrigerators, couches, washing machines, they're just going flying over on the other side of the beach. And All Might just looking like, "Geez, this kid's physical strength this much?" And he's like, "Don't use your power." And Deku's like, "I haven't been." And he's just like, "But how? How was this kid not using his power?" Then he asks Deku what he's been doing for like the past 15 years. And he's been like, "Oh yeah, ever since the doctor said I wasn't going to get a quirk. And even though I could use my power, I just wanted to train as hard as I could just to get my power stronger. So I could prove to the world that I can be the first quirkless hero." And he's like, and then All Might says again, "Yeah, try and prove that to everybody. No one's gonna believe you." And then Deku's like, "Oh, I'll just show him doctor papers," and they'll be like, "Yeah, it was probably a mistake." So, like, All Might like sees that Deku finished in like under 10 minutes, and he's just like, "This would have taken me a couple weeks to finish. This kid's already stronger than me." Like, Deku's already somewhat stronger than him, but he's not stronger. Like, his physical abilities aren't stronger. His strength is, but like he doesn't know how to fully use his strength yet. Like, he was just like throwing it. Like, he wasn't using like his physical strength. He was just like pretty much barely using it, but it's like he doesn't really know how to use it like how All Might does. So he's still weaker than All Might. So and All Might's like, "Yeah, kid, you just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think I can train you to the point because I think you've already surpassed me in physical strength." And Deku's like, "What, really?" And then All Might just says, "Yeah, just keep training for the next 10 months. 10 months passed, and we start the UA entrance exam. Like, in those 10 months, Deku's been running, doing push-ups, lifting weights, and he's also been meditating. Just, like, meditating because he wants to, like, get calmer and stuff because of his anger ability. So, that all passes, and UA entrance exam. He's so much calmer, and I think he's also a little bit smarter. So he gets a bit higher on the UA theory exam, and then it comes to like the attack exam. I don't really remember the name, but like, so it's time for that, and like he never meets Uraraka just because he's so much calmer. So he never goes up to thank her, meaning he never meets Ida either. So he's about to start off, and like President Mike explains the rules, and he just says 3, 2, 1, go. Deku zooms right up into the sky, puts two key, you know, like how Goku Black has like key swords, kind of, but they're not swords. He just like covers his hand in key and can chop through things. Deku just puts both of his hands wrapped in key, and he just goes up into the robots, just slicing them. He goes one way, slices all the robots. He goes the other way, slices all the robots. And like all the kids are just freaking out like, what? This kid already destroyed half the robots. There's almost none left. And they just start scrambling like they need points. And Deku's just like, I think I've already made it. Just says like cocky, like he already knows he made it. Like he already has like 100 points, just like easy. And he just hears everyone screaming, and he looks up, and there's the massive 0-point robot. And so like they're all running, and then Deku hears a scream like, help, help, and it's Uraraka. He runs over and just sends a massive ki blast, kind of at the shape, it's like the size of a Kamehameha, but also it's like in the middle of a Kamehameha and a Spirit Bomb. Or Kamehameha, I don't really know how to say it, but it's in the middle of a Spirit Bomb and that, like the size of it. So it's pretty big, and it just goes right through it, and it just stays there, and then it expands. It just keeps expanding, and then blows up the robot, and absolutely destroys it. And Uraraka's like, what? How is this kid so powerful? And Deku just lifts up the rubble on Uraraka and just picks her up and puts her down and says, nice to meet you, I'm Zuki Midori. And she says, oh, my name's Uraraka, and thanks for saving me. And they're like, hi. They shake hands, basically, and then they hear President Mike say, 30 seconds left. And then Uraraka starts panicking, like, oh, I gotta get robots. And then Deku just goes around just chopping up more robots. So I'm going to say he gets 80 points for Savior and 120 points for Attack, so he ends up getting 200 points. And now he has 200 points. And he receives an acceptance letter from UA, and where it says, where All Might says, kid, you're amazing. You've gotten the highest score out of anybody on the attack side of the test. 200 points, that's amazing. And Deku's just like, yes! As he yells out loud, and Inko, his mom, just runs in and says, wait, did you make it? And he's like, yeah, and then she just starts hopping up and down with joy. And Deku's like, I made it to UA! My dreams finally come true, just yelling this out loud. And the first day. So, Deku just goes up to the first day, and he's not expecting like any sort of test. He meets Uraraka and says Uraraka says thank you for saving me. He's like, yeah, no, don't mention it. And then he sees Mr. Aizawa and he's like, who is that weird hobo guy in there? And then he says, get on your sports uniforms and go outside. We're having a test. Oh yeah, and whoever's last gets expelled. Everyone's like, what? You can't do that. And he says, get down there sooner or I'll expel all of you. And they're just like, what? And they start rushing down. Deku's going to be the first one there just because of how fast he is. So everything like pretty much goes in Deku's favor. First place in everything, then he gets to the 50-meter dash. It's him, Ida, Bakugo, and Todoroki. And Mr. Aizawa just says, 3, 2, 1, go. And then Deku's just already on the other side and says, yeah, I won. And Ida's like, how is this kid faster than me? I'm supposed to have the speed quirk. And like, Ida sees like Deku as a rival in speed, basically, even though Deku's already clearly faster than him, and Bakugo just like, how'd you already beat all of us, Deku? And Deku's just like, I guess I'm too strong for you guys. And they're just like, you little bastard, as he yells, trying to explode him, and then Deku just dodges it. You gotta get your quirk stronger, Kachan, or you'll never be able to beat me. And like, Bakugo's just like, you stupid nerd, and just like walks away. And then it comes to the ball throw, and since Deku got the highest score, he gives the ball to Deku to throw it first. And Deku just charges up a ki blast in his hand and just surrounds the ball in it, and he just chucks it into the air. Like, he just throws it, and it goes into space. So he gets infinity because he threw it, and it, like, just ripped through the atmosphere. And, like, it just kept flying. And everyone's like, what the heck? What could this kid's quirk be? And so Deku and Uraraka tie for first because they both got infinity. So Deku ends up getting first in that. He's first. Yeah. So then, I'm going to expel. Nah, I'm not going to expel anybody. I don't feel the need to. So yeah, that all happens, and now it's time for the USJ. So everyone's super excited, and they get there, and then they see a massive portal open up, and they just see hundreds of bad guys, villains, walking out, and then they see this massive, like, ogre-looking thing. Like, is that a purple Shrek? No, they don't say that, but, like, what is that bird thing? And, like, so, and then Kirogiri surrounds all of them and teleports them in different places. And they don't, Ida doesn't even get the chance. Like, in this timeline, Kirogiri instantly does it, so nobody escapes, meaning no other heroes are coming, so All Might is never going to show up. Or he might, but at the last 10 minutes, which probably won't even happen, because he's probably not going to be able to. So, they do that, and Sue saves Deku in the water, and he's like, thanks, and then he just says, I'll take care of all of them, as he just prepares his ki, his rose ki around his hands, and just jumps right into the water, slashing everybody, every villain, and they just pass out instantly. Like, they have an X on their torso, kind of like how Luffy does in One Piece. So they all do that, they all pass out, and then he runs over to see Mr. Aizawa getting absolutely destroyed by the Nomu. And Deku's just like, put him down, yelling at the bird, and the bird instantly looks at Deku, and then Shigaraki just says, kill the kid, and he drops Mr. Aizawa and just starts running after Deku, and Deku's like shocked, like, what? As, like, Deku doesn't know, like, what this kid's quirk is, so he just goes and tries to slash him with his ki. Like, I know it's shock absorption, but I'm also going to add a quirk to the Nomu, where it's, like, it can't, like, his skin's super hard, so it can't be penetrated by, like, a knife or anything, so, like, he can't chop through it, even with Deku's super powerful rose ki. So he can't chop straight through the Nomu. So he just keeps trying to chop through it, and he's like, what? How's my quirk not working? And then the Nomu grabs him by the head and throws him. He slams into the wall, falling down, coughing up blood, like, how is this guy so strong? And then Deku just keeps running at him, seeing Shigaraki trying to kill Sue, and he slaps Shigaraki's hand. And then the Nomu is just there and punches Deku. Deku's like, and he spits out more blood. And, like, Deku's on the verge of dying. Like, he's like, coughed up so much blood, and he's just being hurt so badly that he's almost about to die. And he just keeps running at the Nomu, and the Nomu just keeps punching him. He keeps losing blood. And then, at the final second, the Nomu grabs him by the head and just starts flinging him around, and then they hear just a massive yell, and then they hear Deku, or Goku Black, say, "I've been waiting for this," as Goku Black has been inside of Deku, and he just says, "It's finally time for me to take over," and he just takes over and going Super Saiyan Rose and whips out his scythe. Now he has his scythe, and then he's like, "I've been waiting for this, to take his body over, finally." And like everyone's shocked, like, what's Deku talking about? Take his body over? And he takes his scythe and just, it's so powerful, he just slashes the Nomu's head off right then and there. And Shigaraki's like, how did he was having so much trouble, and then he just sliced his head off. And he's like, my time is done here. Finally took control of his body, and Deku just passes right out. And he's like, and he wakes up in the school infirmary, and he's like, what happened? And like all the teachers are surrounding him saying, you saved the day, kid. And then he's like, but I don't remember doing that. And they're like, what? You don't remember? And then he's like, I think something took control of my body. And they're like, what? Must be your quirk or something. You gotta learn how to control that, or you might become a villain. And then Deku's like, yeah, I'll try. So I'm gonna leave it off at that. The USJ incident happened. Goku Black, controlling Deku's body, sliced his head off using his scythe. So all of that happened. And I really want you guys to give me suggestions on who One for All should go to, and new what ifs for next week. That's if I finish everything, but new what ifs for next week. So I'm gonna have to thank you guys for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe for more what if videos every single day. See you guys. Bye.